What's up, guys? Okay, wait. I'm gonna go out of camera thing. So, hey guys, what's up? How you guys doing? So, welcome back to another interview, obviously. And this interview is with Mr. Rohit Bedi, who works out of Singapore, and he talks about how the information technology industry has been affected by this pandemic in his region. And also, you might notice that I'm in the interview standing because I have to get some exercise, walk around and get some exercise done because exercise is very important for your health and I really can't go out and play football with my friends. And the most important reason for exercise is that I need to get muscles, which I clearly do not have right now, as you can see. So do watch the interview, guys. There are two surprises in the end, and I hope you enjoy, guys. Thank you for watching. Good evening, sir. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today and sharing your information with me and many more people, of course. I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I do. So for all the viewers out there, can you please define your profession in a few sentences?
Oh yeah, thanks for giving the opportunity. First of all, I'm into the IT delivery, and I'm managing the APAC region for IT Internet on Things within my organization.
Thank you, sir. What has been the effect of this pandemic on different aspects of your organization?
Oh well, it impacted in a significant manner because the yearly projections of the entire sales has been tremendously reduced down. Delivery has been significantly impacted because people are not able to contact each other due to the lockdown in several parts of the APAC. It has also impacted employees in a deeper way where they are not able to do a handshaking and they are not able to in fact meet their colleagues where they used to spend some quality time, which also depreciated somewhere the productivity within the company itself.
Thank you, sir. Given the large scale work from home situation, due to the pandemic, what have been your challenges and takeaways from this experience?
Well, the challenges here is every day is a different challenge that we are facing because the regulations of the country is changing day by day, and in fact in the world it is changing in a singular day. So it is no longer going to wait and react, and we have to adopt those measures published by the countries. And every day we have been working really hard, and in fact, more than 18 hours a day to make sure that we can manage and mitigate the risk as much we can. And at the same time, we can also make sure that our people can survive in a better way and they can be coordinated in an effective manner. So these are the challenges where the extra efforts definitely come, and takeaways is definitely that world knows that virtualization do exist. Okay, so that's where basically IT has been talking from long decades that this virtualization world do exist, and now people are started accepting it. There is all around the world. We are having a call over Microsoft Teams, Zoom. There are startups who have really picked up well. So I would say that these are advantage. And however, on the other side, challenges are to make sure that how your people are protected and they are able to survive and be more productive during this time period.
Thank you, sir. According to you, could technology have played a better role in forecasting and thus preventing the COVID 19 pandemic? If yes, then how?
Well, I must say it's a very good question. And we've been talking, in fact, we are surrounded by IT gadgets. All the young generations, including, millennials and everybody is surrounded by the gadgets. So we are wearing bands, we are wearing, be it necklaces, we are also having some chips. The technology has really uh, set the boundaries, and I believe instead of doing these fancy things, they should have been utilized in a proper manner where we have AI and data mining things. So if a technology can monitor the temperatures, if they would have make sure that the oxygen level can be monitored through the devices that people are wearing, then it could have been definitely better. Yeah. So there, these data perhaps are using for the business. However, we could have used for saving the world and giving it to the NGOs to make sure that the better usage and utilization of data.
Thank you, sir. As a working father, due to the work from home situation, how are you balancing your family and professional commitments?
Well, this pandemic gives a time to stop, think about your family, think about not only running in this rat race of working world environment. So I would not say it's a challenge. In fact, it's an opportunity to look deeper inside the family, what's going on, because when you are away, out of sight is out of mind. When you are inside the house, you get to know what kind of challenges it's going on in and out in a daily basis. And I would say that here we are getting connected, and the bond is getting stronger and stronger day by day, and we are trying to understand each other situation and trying to help each other. So I would say it's not a challenge. I think it's an opportunity for us to become together and united.
Thank you, sir. In your own domain, what has been the fallout of this pandemic and how are you handling it?
In my
In your own domain, what has been the fallout of this pandemic and how are you handling it?
well, my domain still the front ending with the customers, clientele, meetings, board meetings, that has been postponed. So that is really something hit us really hard to ensure that where we stand in terms of customer satisfaction level. Now, customers have started giving the consensus. There are some restrictions, boundaries because of infrastructure. So I think more or less, I mean, we are managing, but it has really hit us hard. Well, what was the question? Sorry.
In your own domain, what has been the fallout of this pandemic and
Fallout is definitely customer interactions. So we miss, as a part of IT, we need to be connected, and we need to be connected not only through this virtualization but physical presence as well. So somewhere those areas are still lacking, and we are just trying to cover up.
Thank you, sir. Being an NRI, what differences have you experienced in the handling of the pandemic by Singapore vis-a-vis India? If you can share some personal experiences, please do that.
Differences. So far, I haven't felt the difference because fortunately I'm still employed. This pandemic has not resulted in made my position redundant. So I haven't felt the heat, but yeah, being an NRI and being a resident, there are definitely perks which comes with the residency and also citizenship. So those perks and citizenship allowances, grants, funding, which is being given to those people who are out of job or impacted, or business areas where they are having shortfalls, so they are getting more aids, grants, everything. So that is not applicable to us. But I believe Singapore government is still fair. It's quite reasonable to give those to people, to those who are needy. So I won't say that there is a difference between the NRI and also uh, citizens or residents. And in fact, they are doing a very brilliant job. I haven't seen a country managing it in a very efficiently manner. However, the people are definitely following the Singapore model across the world. So it's not about spending dollars and cents. It's about utilization of those dollars and cents in a particular manner. So they have opened up grants. They are paying the salary for almost 9 months, which is 75% of the salary of the worker. Those people who cannot step out, they are into this maybe a kind of a industry where the physical presence is required. So they are getting almost $3,000 a day, a month. people who have those who are parental, they are also impacted, so they are giving allowance to them. So there are many grants to business individuals and making sure that the equality is there within the country. So that's what I really like about that.
Thank you, sir. Do you foresee any disruptive techno-medical advancements as a result of this pandemic? If yes, what?
I think the biggest threat right now is knowing somebody knows you better than yourself. Okay, so the data and privacy. My threat here, what I can foresee is if someone can track your location and they can make use of what things that you are doing, what are we doing and liking each and every day. Data has been monitored, and you are being monitored on a daily basis. So these are some techno-medical advancement that may come in future. They may track not only your physical presence, they can track your emotional presence as well. So where are you, whether are you upset, or what are you feeling, what are you thinking. So those kind of disruptive measures can be taken place in the future, but we don't know. It's world is too big to tell you now right now what could be disruptive.
Thank you, sir. What support has the Singaporean government been providing to its residents to overcome the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic?
This I have actually elaborated well in that one of the questions which I mentioned, that I, being an NRI, haven't faced some kind of difficulty. And Singapore government, be it in terms of financially, they have spent over more than 100 billion, and the population is just around maybe 5.5 million. So if a country is spending almost, spending quite number of money on just small population, that itself shows the financial strength of the country. They have not taken even a single borrowing from the World Bank. Number third, they are following the protocols, measures which can be taken place by making sure that people are well prepared. Well, the best part, or maybe I would say that the learning that they have gained from SARS during this time period, that is really coming as a kind of effective measures, and there a lot of other countries are following the models which Singapore has actually been following right now.
Thank you, sir. Based on this once in a lifetime experience, what advice would you give to future generations so as to handle such kind of situations?
Listen to your instinct first. Don't take things for granted. If some advice is being coming from the government or maybe world, don't take it for just granted by saying that it may not impact your country. You never know what kind of harm may come after that. And if you are prepared and you are mentally prepared, then I think you will be able to survive during the pandemic. So I would say that the young generations, they have to trust each other, number one, because the trust factor is getting depreciated. It's getting totally out of the market. Then second is you need to listen to the advice of the health professionals. You need to listen to your basic instinct, what makes you more feel more protected and stay connected, and also by staying at home. There is no loss of staying at home. It's just that for the some time period, your fun activities may be stagnant or slow down.
And with that, we have reached to the end of this interview, sir. Thank you for sharing your insights and your views on such a socially relevant topic. I hope that this interview has helped you as well in any manner possible. I know that I have learned a lot from this. Thank you again for taking time out today from your busy schedule, and we hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much. And can I ask one question in return?
Sure.
How you are dealing here in this pandemic, being the young generation, and what are your takeaways?
Okay, so I think in this time, a lot of people watch TV, and that is something I do not do for two reasons. One, I like to write. I like public speaking as my hobby, and second of all, there's nothing good to watch on TV. So, and if we talk about, so I keep myself distracted by working on my website, doing these kind of interviews, researching about topics to write. So that takes up a majority of my day. Second of all, if we talk about how managing it socially, I regularly video call my friends. We text every day, and that is something that helps us keep connected. Even though that physical touch is not there, we still somehow make it happen. And obviously, something that all of us are excited for is the lockdown to get over, so that we all can meet each other. So, for me, I would say that this website, this hobby of mine, is getting me through quarantine.
So you are exploring your own hobby
Yes.
and your own interest. So this gives you time to understand your own interest
Yeah.
as well. Good to know that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Be happy. I hope you have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
So that was the entire interview, guys. This interview was really fun for me to take because technology is something I love studying about, and I've even written 2 articles on this, which is technology and artificial intelligence. Which, if you have not checked out, do give them a look. They're both on my website, and the link for that you can find in my bio. And another point I would like to mention here is that in the interview, Mr. Bedi mentioned about how we can use wearable technology, which is basically your smartwatches, fitness bands, smart shoes, etc., for detection of this virus, and eventually it will help to prevent the spread of the virus. And I think this is something people should work on. In fact, engineers should work on, so that we do not have a repeat of this pandemic where people are suffering, economies are going into recession, and the world has basically come to a standstill. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.